2025, the European Union is no longer just talking about fighting dirty money, it's finally putting muscle behind the words. After years of fragmented oversight, loopholes, and regulators tripping over each other, Brussels has pulled the trigger on a single powerhouse watchdog, the Anti-Money Laundering Authority, or AMLA. First agreed in law back in 2023 and headquartered in Brussels, this new body is being framed as the EU's answer to a financial system that has grown too fast, too borderless, and too sophisticated for national regulators to handle alone. Unlike the old days, where each country tried to police its own backyard and criminals slipped through the cracks, AMLA has direct powers. It can supervise the riskiest financial institutions, impose penalties, and coordinate cross-border investigations with a central command. For the first time, the EU has something resembling a financial crime strike force. At the top of its hit list is crypto. European strategy documents have labeled it high risk for years, and agencies from the Financial Action Task Force to the European Banking Authority have pointed at digital assets as hotspots for laundering. The reason is simple. Crypto moves faster than traditional money, ignores borders, and comes wrapped in anonymity tools that are tailor-made for criminals who want to scrub their cash clean. Regulators admit they are playing catch-up. By the time an exchange files a suspicious activity report, millions can already have hopped across blockchains, through mixers, and into offshore wallets. But the last 2 years have changed the game even further. Artificial intelligence has entered the laundering playbook. Europol and other agencies have already raised the alarm. Criminal groups are weaponizing AI to supercharge their schemes. Deepfake IDs are the most obvious example. Where once fraudsters cobbled together forged documents, they can now generate hyper-realistic synthetic faces, voices, and even video avatars to breeze through Know Your Customer checks on exchanges. Video verification calls, once considered one of the toughest safeguards, can now be duped by an AI-generated customer that looks and speaks like a living, breathing human. AI is also scaling old tricks. Smurfing, the tactic of breaking down a large illicit sum into dozens of smaller transactions, once required armies of human money mules. Today, bots can split funds across hundreds of wallets, trigger transfers at randomized intervals, and hop across decentralized finance platforms with surgical precision. Cross-chain bridges, designed to let regular users move between blockchains, have become criminal highways, with AI optimizing routes that avoid heavily monitored channels. Even mixers have evolved. Traditional coin mixers already scramble tokens to mask their origins, but AI-driven mixers can now dynamically shift patterns to dodge detection software. Each time blockchain analysis companies adapt, the AI learns and reroutes, staying one step ahead. The money involved isn't theoretical. It's staggering. Blockchain analytics firm Chainalysis estimated that illicit crypto transactions hit roughly $24 billion, 0 cents in 2023, up from $20 billion, 0 cents in 2022. That's more than the GDP of some countries. And while some of those funds are eventually frozen, the sheer speed and complexity of AI-assisted laundering means criminals are often gone long before regulators can act. This is the battlefield AMLA has walked into. Its mission is not to add more paperwork, but to centralize firepower. The plan is to build continent-wide databases that collect suspicious activity reports from across the EU and run high-powered analytics on them. Instead of each member state flagging anomalies in isolation, AMLA wants to spot patterns across banks, fintech apps, and crypto exchanges simultaneously. It is already partnering with blockchain analysis firms and Europol to plug in real-time intelligence. But perhaps AMLA's sharpest weapon isn't technical, it's personal. Under the EU's new anti-money laundering package, senior executives can now be held personally liable if their institutions repeatedly fail. That means board members of banks, fintech companies, and crypto exchanges could face fines themselves, not just their firms. The theory is that CEOs will take compliance far more seriously when their own wallets and reputations are on the line. It's a major cultural shift in an industry where fines have often been written off as just another cost of doing business. Yet AMLA's reach has limits. Criminal networks do not respect borders, and dirty money doesn't stop at Schengen checkpoints. Investigators have documented flows from Eastern Europe into Dubai before being parked in luxury real estate in London or Toronto. This is the kind of laundering circuit that regulators struggle to stop because every country operates on its own timetable. The United States has FinCEN, the UK has the Financial Conduct Authority, Asia is a patchwork, and coordination is often reactive. By the time alerts are exchanged, the cash has long since moved. Dubai, in particular, has raised eyebrows, with Watchdog's warning it has become a magnet for illicit capital funneled into booming property markets. For AMLA, this means Europe can tighten its borders, but the global game remains asymmetric. So where does AMLA go from here? Analysts expect the authority to push for stricter verification rules, tighter controls on privacy-soaked coins like Monero and Zcash, and closer supervision of decentralized platforms. Countries like the Netherlands have already begun clamping down on anonymous crypto transfers, while France has been openly debating whether to regulate DeFi protocols more aggressively. But there's a catch. The stricter Europe becomes, the more crypto businesses complain about being suffocated. Several exchanges have already hinted they may scale down their European operations if compliance burdens become too heavy. That creates a balancing act. Crack down too hard, and innovation flees. Go too soft, and criminals win. Meanwhile, the criminal side is hardly standing still. AI-generated phishing emails are already flooding inboxes, convincing enough to trick even seasoned professionals. Combine that with laundering strategies, fake identities, and privacy tools, and regulators are staring at a constantly shifting battlefield. This isn't a war that can be won once and for all. It's an arms race where both sides adapt and counter-adapt in real time. The EU is betting that centralization will shift the balance, that one watchdog with teeth can force order onto a chaotic financial system. But the uncomfortable truth is that criminals innovate just as quickly as regulators, and often faster. Whether AMLA succeeds will depend not only on how hard it cracks down, but on whether it can stay ahead in a race against technology itself. Artificial intelligence can be a weapon for both sides, and the question hanging over Europe's shiny new authority is simple but chilling. Will innovation serve the cops or the crooks first? And here's where you come in. This battle isn't just happening in Brussels or Dubai. It shapes the financial world you live in. Knowing how regulators, criminals, and technologies collide could mean the difference between protecting your money and losing it to the shadows. So if you want to stay ahead of the next twist in this high-stakes game, hit subscribe, drop a comment on where you think AMLA stands in this arms race, and turn on notifications, because the fight over your financial future has only just begun, and the next move could change everything.